Hello, I'm here with a video that I don't normally do, but here it is. I just kind of want to vent and talk and ramble on about a thing that happened to me that I can't seem to find any information about. And that is the fact that at work, I had said I would stay extra few minutes and do a thing. Well, I was not sure how long it was going to take, so I didn't necessarily text my grandparents, with the idea being they could, shop or do something. Well, they waited, I guess, because I figured it was only going to be, 10 more minutes after starting the thing. So I thought, okay, I can do this. I'll just stay after for a bit. It'll be fine. Everything will be okay. I'm partway into staying after, 15 minutes in. Maybe 16 or 20, I don't remember. It was 2 something. It was after 2 o'clock and my shift technically ended at 2. So I needed to let my manager know that brain was just not burning anymore. I didn't feel great. I felt hungry, which is super weird because I'd eaten a snack in the break room. I brought a granola bar or something and I ate it. And then I started to feel hungry, and I was like, why am I super hungry all of a sudden when I ate a breakfast and I had a snack and all that? And I don't know if this was all because I was hungry or if my brain was also just decided it wasn't gonna, brain anymore, or what happened, but so I knew that, mentally, I felt okay, I could, I wasn't, I didn't feel like I was so hungry that I, needed to eat right then and there, or I was gonna pass out. I've been there before, because I used to, forget to eat lunch, when I was younger, and so what would happen is, I'd be really involved in a thing. Honestly, probably up until recently, this would happen. I'd be really involved in a thing. Then all of a sudden, you get done doing the thing you're hyper fixated on. And you do the thing. And you are, realize, oh, I'm hungry, and I also feel about ready to pass out because I've been hours without food. It wasn't that so much. I mean, my stomach kind of hurt, but, it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't that, extreme level. But, for some reason that was, impacting my ability to think clearly. I don't know, maybe my brain was just already kind of logging off. I don't know what the frick. But the point is, I knew that, mentally, I wasn't going to be able to, continue to, do the things. Despite the fact that my job really isn't that mentally taxing. It was still just okay, my brain is not doing too great. Well, my coworker, of course, was, super confused as to why I was leaving already when I had promised I'd stay. And here's where things get weird. Okay, so normally, when I have a hard time articulating my thoughts, normally what happens is, the thoughts will disappear. I'll feel like my brain has no thoughts, or the thoughts are all jumbled or whatever, and I'll just be, sputtering out words or nonsensical noises till my brain gets the thoughts together. And so that started to happen. My coworker's it's okay, take as long as you need to get the words together. And then so I did try to take a minute, but for some reason in that taking a minute to try to gather my thoughts, I gathered my thoughts, my fucking brain decided to I don't know, do a thing that I can't seem to find anyone else who's experienced this, which is partially why I'm rambling about this. My brain decided that now that my thoughts were back, I have thoughts. I still can move my mouth, but my ability to connect the thoughts to my mouth was still broken. But broken in a way that I've never experienced before, and I have no idea how it looked to other people. I probably looked like I was giving her the silent treatment or something. So I was sitting there, I literally was moving my mouth, trying to say words. The words were just not coming out. It was so creepy. And then, this that happening kind of was making my coworker anxious, and so that kind of caused her to be in like this feedback loop of like she was like repeating the questions, thinking that maybe I didn't hear, or like that would somehow be like helpful. And so then we were just like feeding off of each other's like anxiety of like she's repeating questions and I'm like doing the thing of like saying like not being able to say words but like thinking words, and then like oh my god, it was so embarrassing. And then so I finally was able to get out the sentence that I just kind of needed to talk to our manager. For some reason, my brain could get that thought out, but like explaining to her that my brain was not feeling good was just not working. And then she meant to ask, well, why are you leaving? You know, she asked that, and then I said, no, she said, no, wait, I remember. She said, you said you'd stay after, and I yelled back, I know what I said, and I don't even know, like, if there intentionally was meant to be, like, an angry tone behind it. I have no idea. I was not aware of how I was feeling or how she was feeling. Honestly, the only reason I noticed the, like, anxiety thing was, like, looking back on this, because I have just, like, replayed this moment in my brain over and over, trying to figure out what the heck went wrong, because, like, I figured out, like, oh, she was probably anxious, but also it seems like she was also frustrated, and, like, I don't know, like, I just don't get it, like, I don't know what emotion, like, I have no idea what I was feeling, I have no idea what she was feeling. Emotions were just not factoring in my brain either, but, like, that's not too weird for me. Normally when I'm tired, my emotions kind of go night-night, before the rest of me does, but, so, like, that's not weird for me at all, but, like, what the frick was with my mouth, being able to move my mouth, but not being able to say words, like, what was that, like, what the fuck? I feel really bad that I kind of yelled at my coworker. That was not necessarily, like, intentional. It wasn't like I was, like, mad at her and, like, I don't know, but I told my manager that I was leaving. He seemed okay with it. He seemed like, I mean, obviously it was, like, really busy and overwhelming because, like, one of the people had, like, called off, and they were, like, one of the full-time people who called off, so there was, like, a lot of work to do, and so he seemed really tired and overwhelmed, and I felt bad that, like, he was pushing through his tired, and I wasn't, but honestly, I'm kind of glad I did, because I was kind of worried that becoming nonverbal was going to happen. I just did not, like, I've experienced experiences of being nonverbal in the sense of, like, I can sit there and spit out things that sound like words, but they aren't actually words, and a lot of times people interpret that as me being angry with them, which, like, I'm not fucking angry at you. I literally just can't fucking talk. Jesus Christ, not everything's about you. But, like, I just, wanted to scream about this experience into the void that is the internet, because I want to know if anyone else has experienced this, because I am genuinely super fucking confused about this, because, like, what the actual fuck? But yeah, I sort of feel like I accidentally fit that stereotype that, like, young people can't handle shit. I feel like I fit that stereotype, unfortunately, but there's not much I can do about that. So yeah, this is just the weird, ramblings of my brain. I think I will end this by, basically asking, hey, has anyone else experienced a thing where, like, you can think words completely clearly, but you can't say them? You can move your mouth, but you can't actually, like, vocalize the words for some reason. Because I've experienced the opposite of that plenty of times, and I've heard a lot of other people with ADHD say that they've experienced, like, the opposite of that, where, like, you're grabbing at words or things to, like, try to, like, verbally, like, you're just making mumbly noises, trying to say words, but your brain is just kind of out to lunch. But I've never experienced the other half of that, or, like, the other thing where, like, you're, like, where you're, like, is this, like, the thing where your mouth is, you can still physically move your mouth. It's not like you've completely lost control of your mouth. You can still move it. But, like, you open and close your mouth and you realize no words are coming out. Is this something other neurodivergent people have experienced before? Because I really want to fucking know. But yeah, I also tend to be more prone to dissociating when tired, which is why when the tiredness was more mental than physical, that's kind of what I was more worried about, honestly, more so than anything else, was like dissociating at work. I do not like dissociating in general isn't fun, but dissociating in public is 10 times less fun than when you're at your house, because at least when you're at your house, you can curl up in a ball and hide and wait for it to stop. Or you can do grounded techniques, although I'd argue that curling up in a ball in some ways is a grounded technique, because you're, like, engaging with all your 5 senses by just curling up with all you fuzzy things in a nice, comfy little ball and touching all the fuzzy things and hearing the complete quiet. Or if you have a video on your phone, that, or like, I don't know, it sort of feels like grounded techniques in a roundabout way, but maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just giving myself credit for avoiding dealing with a thing that is very much deal-withable. I don't know. Anyway, my mental health is better in the sense that I'm not having panic attacks all the time, but my brain is still throwing me curveballs, which is not what I was expecting, because I've always assumed that most of my weird brain nonsense is anxiety related, and that seems not to be the case. So I'm curious if anyone else with either issues around dissociating or ADHD or both have experienced anything similar to this, because I am literally just like, what the fuck do I do? Anyway, have a lovely day.